Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Love Yourself to Health podcast. My name is Alyssa, and I'll be here each week teaching you how to build a body that you genuinely love. As women, we have been taught so much misinformation about what our bodies should look like, how we should eat, and how we should work out. And I'm here to dispel all the myths and to teach you how to feel better, eat more without gaining weight, and to build a toned, lean, feminine physique, all without dieting, endless hours of cardio, or beating yourself up for getting off track. Here, we're all about treating our bodies with love and respect, and of course, having fun along the way. Hello, and welcome back to the Love Yourself to Health podcast. We are live. Today I am doing a few things different. So we are outside today because it's a beautiful day out and I wanted to take advantage of being outside. So if you hear any birds or dogs or hopefully not people, that is all that is going on. We are also live on Instagram and on Facebook. Got a lovely setup going on. So it is a good day. We've got lots of things to talk about. So yeah, today I just wanted to talk about my powerlifting competition that I did just this past weekend, actually just 2 days ago. So still recovering. Honestly, I'm not sore like at all. My back is maybe like a little bit, but honestly, I am feeling pretty okay, much better than I expected. So yeah, I guess I'll just kind of give you a recap of what happened, my results, kind of the energy, what I felt, if I'm going to do it again, kind of all of that stuff. So let's see, I've been lifting weights for 6 years, and basically since I started, I've been training in kind of a combination of powerlifting and bodybuilding style because my boyfriend Dawson is the one who pretty much got me into lifting. I did start lifting weights before I met him, but once we started dating, it was already such a big part of his routine that it was so easy for me to just start going to his workouts with him, and he would teach me everything that he knows. So his lift is bench press. So we definitely spent a lot of time on bench press. We had some really good bench days, and since then, bench has been basically my favorite lift. I learned how to do deadlifts, learned how to do squats. And I've been decently strong at them for a while, and I've always wanted to compete, right? Because once you start working out, there's usually like a few things that stand out, right? When you start getting into lifting weights and feeling strong, and it's like you're getting a lot stronger and things are feeling really good, and it's like a part of your life now. I feel like you kind of either go one of two ways. Either you're like, maybe I should do a powerlifting competition because I'm pretty strong at like the bench, the deadlift, the squat. This could be fun. Or you can go the other direction where you're like, wow, I've got a lot of muscle. I wonder what is going on under this little layer of fat. Like what would happen if I dieted down and did a bodybuilding competition? I went the other direction, right? I did the bodybuilding first. But honestly, I've been interested in doing both for a very long time. And I've actually signed up for powerlifting competitions before. I talked to my bodybuilding coach about training me for powerlifting. So I've wanted to do it for a long time, and I've always like looked at the provincial records and seen how close I am and if that's something that I could actually make records for or win in my class. And yeah, it's been on my mind for a long time, probably since like my first year of lifting, which is crazy that it's been so long and I haven't actually done anything yet. So I'm very, very grateful to my friend and past client, Kim, who is here right now. Hey, Kim, for convincing me to do a powerlifting competition with her, because she was getting very strong when we were training together, and I think somebody else had mentioned to her potentially doing a powerlifting competition, and we talked about it, and I said that she should for sure do one in the future because, like, it seems like a ton of fun, and it's a really cool thing to work towards, and especially since it's focused more around, you know, what your body can do and what you're capable of rather than just, like, on what your body looks like. So anyways, fast forward probably, I don't know, 6 months maybe. And there was a competition coming up, and I think it was 6 weeks out. It was in a town just a few hours away, and we were at the gym, and she was like, hey, we should, like, maybe do this? Like, do you think that's something that we could maybe do? And, you know, we talked about it a little bit, and within that session at the gym, we made the decision to sign up for it, and I'm pretty sure we signed up then and there, like, that day. Like, it was just a, like, maybe we could do this type of thing, and after an hour, it was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And we got one of our other friends, Aria, to join us. You guys know Aria. Yeah, so we were all signed up. We were all ready to go. We ordered our singlets and our socks and a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of equipment involved in these things. So we got all our stuff. We were all ready to go. We did a mock powerlifting meet a few weeks before to kind of like get a feel for how it would be, where our numbers are at. I did some research, created us a program, and like a week out, the city that we were supposed to go to flooded. The highway collapsed to get there. So basically, there were circumstances out of our control, so we ended up not competing, unfortunately. And then we had another competition come up, which I didn't do, but Kim signed up for. And I went with her, and she did amazing. It was so much fun, and the energy there was just so cool. Just being in the back, you know, getting ready, doing the warm-ups, even like watching all the other competitors, just everyone was so supportive. And everyone was cheering, especially like every single time somebody would do a lift and they started to struggle, everybody would cheer so loud just to like, keep going, like you can get it. And it's just so cool. It was just such a good atmosphere. And then especially seeing all these women lifting such heavy weights and just being so stoked about it and so excited about it. And basically it was just like I was surrounded by my people, right? But like hundreds of them, like so many people who get it, who have the same energy when it comes to lifting weights. And I was just kicking myself the whole day for not signing up, for not competing. And the next day, Kim was like, okay, we're doing this other competition that's coming to Kelowna, to our town, in 6 weeks. And she was all signed up for it and ready to go. And she was like, okay, you need to do this with me. And I was like, I need to do it with you, I think you're right. And because it was my birthday the next weekend, Kim just signed me up for it. And she's like, you're doing this. This is my birthday present to you. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And then we convinced Aria, because we had already, you know, prepared for one before. So the three of us ended up doing it all over again. So we all competed on Saturday, and yeah, it was so much fun. It was even more fun competing than it was just being at the competition. And again, just like the energy was the biggest thing for me. Just seeing, and again, we were in a flight of all women, so I don't know, there were like 10 of us. We would all take our turns doing our lifts. We'd be one right after the other, and every single time somebody was going, we would all watch, we would all cheer, and then as soon as they came off and they made their lift, we'd high five, we'd fist bump. We were all just supporting each other and just being excited for each other. And it really doesn't feel like a competition. Like I keep forgetting, which I haven't even mentioned, that I won in my weight class because that wasn't the goal or the intention. Like I did not plan on winning. I didn't think I was going to win. And it doesn't really, like, that's not what I was going for. I was going for the experience, to be able to challenge myself, to be surrounded with all these other people who have the same, feeling when it comes to lifting weights and how much fun it is. So yeah, it's just such a cool atmosphere. And then another big thing that I absolutely love is that it has nothing to do with how you look, right? Which is very different from bodybuilding, which is the exact opposite. It's literally you are judged on how you look, right? So it's so interesting to see a sport where I'm doing something very similar. Like with bodybuilding, you are working out all the time. Like the preparation towards it is working out, building up that muscle. But then of course the dieting in order to be able to showcase that muscle on stage. Whereas the powerlifting is the training that you're doing is the competition, right? You want to see how much you can squat. You want to see how much you can bench, how much you can deadlift. And it's just really, really cool to have that whole group of women who are not there to compare how they look or be judged on how they look, but instead to be not even judged. Like, yes, you are judged just like if you made the lift or not, but just to see like how much weight can you lift. And most people who are going in there are going in to compete against themselves, right? Either they've never done a competition before and this is their first time and they're trying to see what they're capable of, or they have competed before and they're just trying to get better lifts than they did before, or they've been competing for a while and now they're trying to get records, like provincial records or national records. And it's just, it's so cool, guys. It is just such a cool environment. So that is kind of the biggest thing that was sticking with me the whole time. And I guess I can kind of, for those of you who don't really know anything about powerlifting, which I'm sure is quite a few of you, I'll kind of tell you a bit about it and what it is and how it works and whatnot. So powerlifting is a competition where there are 3 main lifts. So a back squat, a bench press, and a deadlift. So you have 3 chances for each one. So basically when you get there, you get your equipment checked, because you can have certain equipment you can have that have been like reviewed ahead of time and it's okay. Like you can use a belt, you can use lifting shoes, you can use like wrist wraps, not straps, but wraps. You have to wear a singlet, you have to wear a certain length of sock, you have to have a specific type of t-shirt underneath. So you have to get all of this stuff checked in ahead of time. And then you have to get weighed because it is based on your weight. We're all separated into different weight classes. And funny story, I was trying to compete in the 69 kilogram class. I was 69 kilograms when I signed up for this, but I had a short-term fascination with frozen waffles, which I was having basically every day with peanut butter and syrup. Very, very yummy. But I ended up gaining a few kilograms and I didn't end up losing enough for the competition. So I did go up in a weight class. And the funny story is there was one other girl in my weight class. We were both signed up for the 69 kilogram weight class, and we both were a little bit over and ended up getting bumped up to the next weight class, which ended up just being us 2 anyways. So that was kind of funny that the same thing happened to both of us, and we just would have been competing against each other anyways if we had both made weight class or if we both didn't. So that was kind of funny when that happened. So after the weigh-ins, you go and you have, like, we weighed in at 7 and our competition started at 9. So it's pretty early in the morning. So of course, most people, aren't eating before their weigh-in so that they can make weight. It wasn't as bad when it's so early in the morning, but sometimes you weigh in later in the day, like around noon or something. So after you weigh in, you drink some water, drink some electrolytes, have some snacks. I had some dried mangoes and I didn't eat my 2-bite brownies. I bought a bunch of snacks the night before to bring. So I think all I really ate all day was dried mangoes and rice cakes and an ice cap. That was my sustenance for the day, and Gatorade, which wasn't as yummy as I thought it would be. But that's okay. So then we eat, we get some food into us, and then we start warming up. So you do your warm-up sets, you see how your lifts are feeling. Honestly, my squats and my bench press did not feel as good as I wanted it to. I think I ended up dropping down my opener weights. So before you start, when you do your weigh-ins, you tell them how much you want to start with. Because you always do warm-up sets, and then you're going to start with a certain weight. So for your squats, you'll say, I'm going to start at 105 kilograms. So then your first lift is going to be that. You're going to try it. If you get it, then you do your next weight. And usually you want to do all of your lifts. So you usually start a little bit lighter than, what your max is for your first lift. So I ended up lowering my squats and lowering my bench press. Both my squats and bench press didn't feel as good as they normally did. So, and then I made both of my first two. So my squats, I made my first one, I made my second one, and then my third one, I did not. I squatted down and I did not come back up all the way. I came back up to I always have a sticking point. So I go all the way down, I come up a little bit, and then I get stuck. And I pushed for I thought it was 3 seconds, but it was 1.5. And I could not get back up. So your spotters are there to help you. So when you fail the lift, they help you bring the weight back up. So I got 2 out of 3. So the last one I did, I think ended up being 237 pounds. So that is the squat that I ended up counting for me. And I can't remember what that was in kilograms, but I have everything posted on my Instagram if you want to see all my numbers. But yeah, so I ended up getting 237 pounds for my squat, heaviest squat of the day. And that's actually pretty good. Because you're converting kilograms and pounds during the competition, I should have bumped it up to 243 pounds for my last one, but I think I bumped it up to 247 because the most I've ever done was 240. So if I would have just bumped it up a little bit, I would have gotten a record, probably. But I bumped it up a little bit too much and I couldn't do it. But again, I wasn't converting between kilograms and pounds. I just wrote them down the night before. So my brain wasn't really equating how much weight I was actually lifting. Because in the gym, I lift in pounds, but in the competition, it's all in kilograms. So that kind of messed me up a little bit. Again, we're learning for next time. And same thing with bench press. I started a lot lighter than I planned on. I think my first one was around 125 pounds, and normally I can easily lift 135 for reps. And the most I've ever done, which I actually did at both of our mock meets before, was 155 for a competition press. And with a competition press, you have to bring the bar all the way down to your chest and let it sit there until they tell you to press it back up. So most people, when they do bench press, they just let it touch their chest and go. We usually call that a touch and go. But for a powerlifting competition, the bar has to sit on your chest motionless until they tell you to press it back up. So it's usually there for a second or two, which makes the lift a lot more challenging. So normally I've been able to do 155 pounds for that in my last couple mock meets that we've done. So this was so silly. My first lift I did 127 pounds, which actually looked really good. And then I bumped it up to 135, which was a bit of a struggler. I definitely had to push through that. And then I decided to bump it up by 7.5 kilograms, which ends up being almost 20 pounds. because I don't know, I was just thinking, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I might as well try real hard. And I've done that weight before, which is funny. I wasn't doing the calculation in the moment, but when I looked back, I was like, oh, I've done that weight before. I should have been able to do it, but my body just wasn't feeling it that day. So that's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, bumping it up by 20 pounds when the one I just did was challenging, not the best idea. And again, we learn for next time. And finally, we went into deadlifts, and I deadlift sumo style. So there's two different types of deadlifts that you can do in competition. You can do a regular conventional deadlift, which is where your hands are outside of your feet and your feet are basically right under your hips. Or you can do a sumo stance, which is you take your feet out nice and wide, toes out, and then your hands are going to be between your feet. And I prefer sumo stance. I'm a bit stronger, so that's why I do that one. And during my warm-up, my deadlifts were feeling really good. I had originally planned on starting at 255 for my deadlifts because, you know, throughout my training, and we did like a test day on Monday. Me and Kim were working towards our openers to kind of see how things feel. And I worked up to a 255 pound deadlift. It felt pretty challenging and I wasn't really feeling it. So I was going to use that as my opener. And when we were warming up in the competition, it just felt really, really good. I ended up warming up to like 275 pounds and it felt really good. So I changed my opener to 285 pounds. So 30 pounds more than I thought I was going to do. And in the past few years, the most I've ever deadlifted was 290 pounds, like without straps or anything. I have deadlifted 315, like back in 2017, I think, 2018, when I was training for bodybuilding, but that was with straps. So I'm not counting it. It's not the same style of deadlift that I was doing for this competition. So the most I've done up until this point was 290. So when I was going to start with 285, I was feeling really excited because my deadlifts have not felt that good basically ever, especially at that weight. And then I made that. My 285 moved easy, and then I bumped it up to, I think, 295. That also felt really easy, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for 315. I think I did do the calculation before that one just to see what it was. So I bumped it up to 315. And I did smelling salts, which is basically ammonia in a jar. You smell it before you go out onto stage to lift the weight. And it just kind of like opens up everything. So then you just like, you're alert, you're ready to go. We're ready to go. We got all the energy. So we did that. I went onto the stage. I was just feeling really good. Like I was feeling very confident about it. Like I knew it was a heavy weight. I knew it was something I'd never done before, but I was like, you know what? These are feeling really good. So I walked out there. I grabbed the weight. I had heard one of the girls who went before me, her coach had said, you know, just to go fast, to pull fast. Okay, go quick. So I was like, oh, that's a good cue. I want to use that. I want to think about going fast because if I can just grab that weight and just stand up with it, and if I move that weight fast, then we're good. So I did. I walked up there. I set myself up. I grabbed the bar and I was like, okay, fast. And I stood up. I waited for the cue for them to tell me to put it back down. And I looked over and I got all white lights, which means the lift counted. And I had deadlifted 315 pounds, which I have never done before. And that was such a good feeling. Like, I had tears in my eyes. I was so emotional because I have tried to deadlift 315 pounds so many times over the last few years because 315 pounds is significant because it's 3 of the big plates, 3 of the 45-pound plates on each side. And that's like always significant. When you lift at the gym, you always try to hit certain numbers, either like 100 pounds or 200 pounds or 300, or based on the plates. So for me, I've tried so many times to reach this because I've done it before and I just want to get back there. And actually hitting it on this day just felt so good. I was so proud of myself for that. So yeah. And then we did awards and I placed first in my class, and that was super cool. Yeah. So that's kind of the recap of my first powerlifting meet. I'm definitely going to be doing another one in the future. The funny thing is, like, going into this, I wasn't super serious about my training or about my nutrition, or making weight or anything. It was just kind of, I knew it was coming. I wasn't like, I was excited about it, absolutely, but I wasn't like super serious about it like I am when I'm doing bodybuilding, because I guess because I have built up my strength over the years, I know even if I walked into the competition without super preparing for it, I would still be able to lift fairly heavy numbers just because my body is strong. It's used to doing these movements and knows how to do it. Whereas with bodybuilding, if you don't commit to the training, you are not going to want to walk on that stage, right? With bodybuilding, like you have to follow through with your training and your diet because you are getting judged on the outcome of that. Whereas with powerlifting, like, I'm okay if I don't hit as high of numbers as I may have wanted or may have been able to. But that being said, now that I have done a competition, I will definitely be doing more in the future. I have a few more friends and clients that I have convinced to also maybe do one with me again. And I feel like it's just such a fun thing to do with friends and to make friends at. Like, everybody who was there, we all ended up following each other on Instagram after, and we took some photos together and just like making friends with people who have similar interests to you. Again, just such an amazing atmosphere and experience. So 100% we'll be doing one again, and we'll be bringing friends with me. So maybe it'll be more than just like the four of us who originally went together. So very excited for that. And I know, like, I probably won't do strictly powerlifting training, even for a competition, just because I like my style of training. I know I can get stronger. Like, that is definitely going to be my goal coming out of this, is to increase my strength on all of these lifts, especially seeing my deadlift like that. I am so determined now to get my deadlift a lot stronger because of how easy that lift was. I know I can do a lot more than that. So I am very determined to work on increasing my deadlift and also on improving my squat and my bench and making them more consistent, so that, you know, if I do have a day where they're just not feeling their best, that it's still going to be maybe better than this. So I definitely have plans on doing more powerlifting competitions in the future. I don't think it'll be something serious for me like bodybuilding, where I do want to eventually get my pro card and, you know, be a professional bodybuilder. Powerlifting for me at this point where I am, I'm not close to any records. I used to be, but girls have gotten a lot stronger over the past 5 years. Like, it is impressive. I can't even, like, there isn't a provincial record set for bench press. There might be now for my weight class, but they have like a minimum to lift in order to set the record, and I'm not close to it. I'm still like 20, 30 pounds away. So yeah, I mean, maybe if I, over the next few years, put on some extra strength or focus on it a bit more, maybe I'll try to do provincials or something or go for records. But at this point, it's really just about the experience and just how fun it is. It's so much fun. So yeah, definitely going to be doing another one. And if you're someone who has been contemplating doing a powerlifting competition, or if you've been lifting for a long time, or just started lifting, or haven't even like thought about something like this, I'd consider doing it. You don't need to be super strong in order to enter a powerlifting competition. I think that's something that a lot of people think is they need to be really strong to go in. But you don't. There's a lot of people, there's a big range of strength at these things. They actually organize the order that you go and do your lifts by the weight you're lifting. So the person who's lifting the lightest will go first, and then it'll slowly work their way up to the person who's lifting the heaviest, and then it'll restart. And it takes them like 30 seconds to change the weight between people. Like, it moves pretty fast. And yeah, a lot of people do this just for the experience and to challenge themselves and to, see what they're capable of and just do something in a different type of atmosphere. And even if you don't, lift your heaviest that you've ever lifted when you do the competition, it's still going to be the heaviest you've lifted in a competition, because everything is different in a competition. Like your nerves, the weights are different. You have specific cues that you need to use. Everything is different. So when you make a record at a competition, that is your competition record, and you don't need to compare that to what you've done in the gym, which is, again, really cool. So now, like, obviously I'm working towards getting stronger at all of these lifts. And the next time I compete, my goal will just be to either lift the same or a little bit heavier than I did at the last competition, or even to have prettier lifts, because my squats were pretty ugly. I'm good at getting to like the very end of struggling, and then even doing even more than that. Yeah. So yeah, anyways, that is basically what I wanted to share with you all. If you do want to do something like this, I highly encourage it, much more so than bodybuilding. Powerlifting is something that I think basically anybody could try to do if they have experience squatting, benching, deadlifting, whereas bodybuilding, you have to have a very good relationship with your body and with food. And even if you do, it can still be very challenging on your mental health. So bodybuilding is something I wouldn't suggest to most people, but powerlifting, 100%. Like, so fun. So I'm very excited about this experience, and to kind of have a little bit of a different direction with my training moving forward, to really have more focus on my strength and getting stronger, which I haven't been like trying super hard over the last few years for that. So yeah. And when I do decide to sign up for another competition and bring all my friends along with me, I will absolutely let you guys know. And again, like, keep track and share and let you guys all know what's going on. So yeah, that is all I have for you today. And we have officially launched 75 Balanced to the public. So I know I talked about this on Friday. If you haven't yet signed up or listened to last week's podcast episode, for sure go take a listen. And I will leave the link for that below here as well. And that is all I'm going to have for you. We will chat later this week. I have a guest coming on. We're going to talk about confidence. Good things. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for listening in today. I'm so incredibly grateful that you took the time out of your day to listen and to support my podcast. If you're ready to feel the best you've ever felt, I would absolutely love to work with you. I have quite a few offers available, from nutrition audits to teaching you how to design your own workouts to group and private one-on-one coaching. Be sure to check out the link in the show notes or go to linktree/AllieDaws. So that's linktr.ee/ALYDAWS to see what I have available right now. I love chatting with you, so don't hesitate to email or reach out on Instagram if you have any questions whatsoever. Have an incredible week, my friend, and we will chat soon.